Welcome back to another episode with Dr. Travis Norris. I'm your host with Strategic Solutions Technology, and I am the founder and I am the creator of the Norris PMI Thinking Framework, where we help you think like PMI and sit and pass the PMP exam. Now listen, today's video going to be kind of short and quick because I really want to kind of get into some questions and talk about our new cohort that's coming up in July, and we have one in August. The July cohort is going to kind of run and give you those 35, 36 contact hours that you need and get you prepared for the PMP exam and the new PMP exam. But then also in August, we have a PMI ACP cohort that'll be starting to help you get prepared to sit and pass that exam as well. All right. So today we're going to look at about 10, I have 10 to moderate to difficult, hard PMP questions. The full link and the full slide deck will be attached if you want to kind of go through that. But I'll only go over like one or two questions on this video and then give you the rest, and you can share this slide deck with anyone you like. Or once you go ahead and book a 15-minute free consultation with me and let me help you get you set up. We have free mock exams on our, I shouldn't say free. Once you pay for them, you have a full link. Let me say it like that. They were free, but now you have to pay a price so that you can kind of get in there and get 4 full mock exams, including breaks in between, and they'll give you what you need in order to sit and pass the PMP exam. Let's get into this. So there's going to be new changes, and of course, I've done a video on this. There's new changes. There's this new AI awareness, business value, hybrid delivery, and stakeholder complexity. Now, you're going to see all these new changes in some form or capacity on this new PMP exam. Of course, no one knows exactly what's ever going to be on the exam, right? But in a sense, the Norris PMI Thinking Framework helps you think. And when you utilize our signature framework, let's say you get down to 2 questions that seem right, utilizing the Norris PMI Thinking Framework will help you get through and get to the best answer, all right? So that way, you are eliminating the answers that are just obviously wrong, but then you're using think, communicate, lead, and then deliver, using that process to really help you. So these are some of the new areas that you'll see and that we're anticipating seeing on the new PMP exam. All right, so here it is. Think, that means what creates value, communicate, who's impacted, how can we do this transparency, or how can we have the best transparency. Then we lead. We're servant leaders, especially in agile environments. We're servant leaders. How do we reduce risk and protect our team? And then we deliver. Or then there may be this escalation piece, right? But we never want to jump to escalation. We always want to use this framework because it slows us down, all right? Helps us think, and then helps us choose the right answer. Now, we're going to go over about 1 or 2 questions. Again, our link to our YouTube page will, at some point, our YouTube page, if I can get my words out, we'll have this full video where we go through 10 of these questions, all right? And then that kind of helps you, and you can pause, listen, think through it, and then choose the best answer. Let's do one together, 1 or 2 together. I'm just having a hard time saying together, so I don't know, I maybe need some coffee. Maybe that's what it is, all right? But when you're reading questions, PMI usually rewards answers that protects people, preserves value, reduce risk, strengthens transparency, and aligns to strategy. So remember that when you're looking at this first question. Let's give it a go. All right, question number 1. And at any time, pause me so that you can read the question and see if you get it right. Stakeholder requests a major scope change midway through execution. Okay. The change could improve customer satisfaction, but it may delay delivery by 2 weeks. All right. So that's something we need to be aware of. What should the project manager do first? So before you act, use the Norris PMI Thinking Framework. Think, communicate, lead, deliver. Use that process and jump around as you need to. Number 1, letter A, reject the request because the baseline has been approved. Implement the change because customer satisfaction is important. Assess the impact and follow the integrated change control process. Or D, escalate the request to the sponsor and wait for direction. All right. What should you do first? That's key in the question. Well, which one did you choose? Well, your answer C is the best correct answer because why? It allows us to assess. It allows us to go through the proper process, the change control. And when you're looking at some of those questions is it predictive? Is it agile? Is it a hybrid question? That one particularly lended itself to more of a predictive question. And so what we want to do is we want to pause and think. We want to assess that situation before we begin to act. Let's see why C was correct. Well, C was correct because the project manager should evaluate the impact before taking action. Remember what I said, any questions, and remember what I'm saying to you all the time, any question that just wants you to jump to escalation or, doesn't want you to collaborate, typically are questions that are going to be wrong. And so when you pause and you utilize the Norris PMI thinking framework, and if you eliminated kind of, the escalation one and maybe the one that ignored protecting value, which was letter A, you kind of gotten down to maybe one or two answers that you knew were correct. And C was the best answer here, where B, it bypassed governance, right? In a predictive project, there's a change control process. And so typically when you see a question that's asking you, hey, let's go to the change control board, that's typically going to be a correct answer. Not all the time. I'm not saying that's always like across the board, but typically when it's telling you to assess and then go through the proper change control, that is an answer that you want to kind of lean towards because it allows you to slow down and not make a decision in a silo. So here's how we prepare you. Again, I told you this is going to be a short video, but this is how we prepare you. We have 36 PMI contact hours. We do question analysis. We really break it down for you to really help you understand how to think like PMI. And then we do live coaching. We have an updated exam focus. Again, I told you we have mock exams on our website. All that information is below here. And we look at predictive, agile, and hybrid questions and exam preparation. All right. So we've really built this around candidates who want a structured confidence and leadership-based exam thinking. We don't just throw you questions. We coach you through it. We really help you understand how to think like PMI so you can sit and pass it, all right? So the Norris PMI thinking framework is great. It's helped students pass and myself pass. Think, communicate, lead, deliver. Schedule your free, now this one is free, a 15-minute consultation. I'll sit down with you. I'll help you kind of understand your desires and really build a learning framework that'll help you pass the exam. And we'll do that with you as soon as you need us, okay? So click the link down low, go to our website, save this deck. I'll upload it, share it with somebody that's going to be sitting for the PMP. And again, tell them Dr. Norris and Strategic Solutions Technology is here to give them PMP a success. We want you to be successful. So here it is. I'm your host, and I am the developer of the Norris PMI Thinking Framework, where we help individuals sit and pass the PMP exam. I can't wait for you to schedule your free 15-minute consultation, and we'll see you on the other side of certification. Talk to you soon.